probably seen the news, and I just had to make a video about this, the Kindle Scribe, and I've just got some photos that Amazon have provided us to show you today. But I'm really interested on what your opinions are of Amazon getting involved into the Eink tablet market. They've obviously been making e-readers for a long time. They've really popularized that, and most people, when they look at my Eink tablet, say, oh, is that like a Kindle? And what they mean is it an Eink screen? I'm really interested with this. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited for one main reason, not so much for the device, because we've already got great Eink tablets. I'm really interested because what it might do for the market. I'm really hopeful that by Amazon getting involved, Eink would actually be able to make these larger screens in large enough volume that it drives down the whole price for all of this type of device. My own first thoughts are, well, this is a first iteration of a device, and my thoughts, if they haven't been working really hard on the UI, on the user interface, they'll soon realize that they've got a lot of catching up to do, because actually the competition out there in the Eink tablet space is pretty strong already. When I look at it, it does seem to be quite a similar design to the Kobo Elipsa. It's got that large bezel on one side. It looks a bit plasticky, although there's definitely some aluminium in the build there somewhere. It's even got a kind of flip over screen rather than a book style folio, but I'm imagining there'll be third-party cases and things like that, so that's not the biggest deal about the device. When you look at the press release, they do say it's a battery-free stylus, and that kind of points to Wacom. And one of the mistakes I think Kobo made was probably to save money. They went with a battery-powered stylus, and that really isn't as good, as accurate, or as quick as the Wacom device. However, looking more into the press release, you can see that it has an eraser and a customizable button. Now, Wacom devices only have one button. They only have a kind of eraser function. So maybe that isn't a Wacom device, or maybe they've been working with Wacom, or maybe they're coming up with their own technology to actually make a really quick battery-powered stylus with those two extra buttons. If that points to them actually seeing Kobo as their main rival in this space, I think they'll soon realize that they have far better rivals than that. I put just a little post to ask your opinions about this, and some really interesting opinions came out. And one was, maybe this might mean the end for Remarkable. And what do you think about that? I'm not sure. I mean, a few weeks ago, Remarkable were looking really good, really strong in the market. They've just announced that they're reducing that subscription plan now to a kind of actually affordable level, and a level that makes more sense. So I'm not sure whether this will mean the end for them, or that they need to move into a different space. It's really interesting the way that that press release is written, because there's clear indications that Amazon are actually targeting that same market. They talk about it being 5.8 millimeters thin. That's what Remarkable say. They say 5.6, world's finished. That's their kind of marketing speak. They say distraction free. That's their kind of marketing speak. They have the same idea of a normal pen and a premium pen with an eraser on the back. That's a very Remarkable thing to do. Maybe this just means Remarkable need to think about their next device a bit sooner, and maybe they need to either do something bigger, have that A4 Remarkable that I've certainly been looking for, or a colour screen Remarkable, because that would differentiate them from this Amazon Kindle. It's a bit more emotive, but people are saying on that post that maybe this will mean the end for the smaller players like Ratta, who their Supernote A5X is one of those devices that I think we all kind of love and appreciate the time and the effort and the love from Ratta that's gone into designing that. They are a much smaller player than, for instance, Books, who have enough of the market, and quite a lot of market in the East, that probably won't be taken by the Amazon Kindle, that they'll be strong enough to see this through. And then another question is there room for Bigme and Boyue, who are really making strides in the West now? They're coming from a strong position in the East, and they're making strides into the Western market. Is there room for them if everybody sees, oh, there's a Kindle Scribe now, and they go with that option because it's a logical step up from their normal e-reader, their Kindle? I'm so excited about this, really, because the volume of the e-ink screens that are produced at that size are going to go up, and I hope that will bring down prices for all of the market, not just the Amazon Kindle. It's a really well priced device, it looks like, although when you go all the premium options, you're already up to that £500 mark. You can get involved with this for just £330, it seems, and you can pre-order it now. It looks like it'll be arriving late into autumn, early winter. And incidentally, I would really love to preview this with an actual device, and so please could you help me out with that, because one thing that would make Amazon interested to send it to me is if this video got a whole lot of views. So if you could share this, or you could like it, anything you could do to make me sort of not just this little guy but actually seem like a bigger deal in this space will actually make Amazon more interested to send me these things and talk to me in future quite quickly about this type of thing, so I can bring you this news. Thanks very much. Of course, just watching it and commenting is also very helpful as well. A few other things from the press release. They're saying a 10.2-inch screen, which is interesting, I suppose, slightly smaller. They're calling this a world's first 300 pixels per inch screen. Now, I wonder whether they've actually done a bit of an exclusive deal with Eink to get this screen there, or maybe it's a different manufacturer. Maybe Amazon are manufacturing this one themselves. It's very hard to find that kind of detail because companies like to say it's their screen, but Eink is really the manufacturer. They talk about take notes in millions of books, and that's interesting because it seems then you'll be able to write on a Kindle book. That's a very interesting feature. And they mention distraction-free, so that makes me just think it won't be an Android e-reader with lots of apps. Although Amazon, of course, have their Fire UI, and so they could bring a lot of apps, optimize them for e-ink quite quickly, I think. So it will give you more options, I think, very quickly in terms of apps and things you can use. They're talking about a warm light, that's important. They say an auto-adjusting front light, which is a nice thing to see. Maybe it's got some kind of light sensor or camera on it. They call it a 5.8mm thin device, and the pen that doesn't need to be charged. And the other interesting thing is they're going to have integration directly from Microsoft Word, so maybe they're actually working with Microsoft to optimize a few apps for this device. That should be an interesting thing. It won't be there when it launches, but that'll be early 2023, they say. They're also very interested to point out how climate friendly this is going to be. Climate pledge friendly is what they say. 48% post-consumer recycled plastics in the device and 100% recycled aluminium. So that is good news. I don't think it will be a fully aluminium body like the Remarkable. I think that it's going to be mainly plastic. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Plastic's probably a bit lighter anyway. And then just to say about the storage options, there are 3 options, and I don't see why you'd really need much more than the 16GB, but you can go all the way from 32 to 64 as well. Let me know your thoughts on Amazon getting involved in the e-ink tablet market now. I think it's exciting times for this market that we're interested in. Thanks so much. If you want to know more about what those competitors are for the Amazon Kindle Scribe, click this video here. And of course, links down in the description if you want to go ahead and pre-order one.